Greetings in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Today we are talking about yellow ray, the chakra to do with family and relations with multiple people. And now for Bill's introduction.
Hello, we welcome you to this Law of One podcast in the love and light of the one infinite creator. This is a teaching experiment founded on unity, harmony, and unconditional love. The topic covered today is yellow ray. We are grateful for those who listen to our teaching experiment. We thank those of LL Research who have channeled and continue to channel and produce spiritual information to this day. We thank those entities of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the one infinite creator that provide the information we wish to discuss. It is our desire to serve through this experiment. We are attempting to learn a topic as a social memory complex. This means we desire to teach a topic as a unified and harmonious group. At this point, we wish to make it clear that we are not experts or authorities on any such topic we cover, and we are not infallible on what we have to say. We would ask that you use your own discrimination to determine whether the words and concepts we share with you have value in your spiritual journey at this time. If there are any that do not, we would ask you to lay them aside and think not a second thought about them, and use only those words and concepts that speak to your heart, that speak to your journey that you are on now, as we do not wish to be a stumbling block in your seeking. Thank you for being here, and we start with Josh on the topic of yellow ray.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the great introduction, Andrii and Bill. Welcome to our podcast on the yellow ray. I'll start off, as usual, with some quotes from the Confederation of Planets in the service of the one infinite creator, primarily Ra and quote. So first quote I have for you here is from the Ra Contact in 1981. The yellow ray is a focal and very powerful ray, and concerns the entity in relation to, shall we say, groups, societies, or large numbers of mind-body-spirit complexes. This yellow ray vibration is at the heart of bellicose actions in which one group of entities feel the necessity and right of dominating other groups of entities and bending their wills to the wills of the masters. So initially, pretty clear, Ra's talking about yellow ray deals with groups, deals with interactions and relations of groups. And then with the bellicose actions, you could think of it as countries at war, trying to control each other, but not person to person, but, army to army, or even, sports teams like soccer, basketball teams, trying to win over each other. Next quote here is from 2002 from Quo. The solar plexus energy center is the characteristic energy center that expresses this planet. It is the yellow ray energy, and included in the yellow ray energy are issues of society, the relationships with the birth family, with the marriage and children, with the work, with the various groups such as nations and sports teams and companies with which the incarnated entity has to do. This is a way of beginning to enter into the process of unraveling the tangles of emotion and fear that have distorted the normal and open flow of energy through the energy bodies. So again, there quotes giving more examples of organizations or structures that play with yellow ray energy or yellow ray dynamics, where it's companies, sports teams, as I mentioned, etc. As you could imagine, a disharmonious interaction is representative of a more blocked or overactivated yellow ray energy. This quote is 1993. The next center can be described as being at that position within the physical vehicle where if you were punched, you would bend over. This yellow ray energy center expresses how the entity is managing and using the relationships of self to groups, such as the state or the family. So there, the first line, they're just describing the location. And so the solar plexus, you might be familiar with, is the location of the yellow ray energy center. I believe they say it's under, you know, between the bottom of your chest and your belly button, below your breastbone or your ribs. And again, reiterating how relationships to groups. Last quote for now from 2007. The yellow ray chakra is the chakra of group relationships or legal relationships, such as the birth family, the marriage family, the work family, and other groups that create their own energies and have their own, shall we say, oversoul. And in this chakra, too, the usual causes of blockages have to do with difficulties in these relationships. And again, because it is so easy to be blocked, at least momentarily, in yellow ray, it is a wise seeker who tunes his heart and his attention when dealing with these relationships in order that the harmony may prevail. And when harmony has been lost from a certain situation, it is well to seek ways to restore it, for this restores the flow of energy through that chakra and into the open heart. So right there, they're given the key, to tune your heart and pay attention when there are disharmonious interactions, negative interactions, fighting, drama, problems within your family or your mother and father-in-law, or other teams in your office or whatever it is. If there's some troubles and difficulties, to work to resolve it by seeking through using the open heart, and using your heart more so to bring harmony to the groups, to unify rather than divide. Whereas the negative yellow ray is more of this separation of groups and war, battle, one group against the other. And the positive is to bring together the similarities and to work together productively and constructively. And yeah, so that's all I have for now. At this point, I'd like to pass it over to Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Josh. We're getting an idea of what the yellow ray is. And I'm going to start with Living the Law of One, The Choice by Carla Rickert, page 161. She just simply says the yellow ray chakra deals with formalized relationships, such as our birth family, our marriages, and our jobs. So formalized relationships are, like it says, birth family, marriage, jobs, co-workers, your church, your country, any organization from business to political to support groups, sports teams, whatever you want, whatever the group is. So that's what the energy of the yellow ray deals with. So the raw contact on session 47.8, Ra says, the yellow ray body is your physical body, which you know of at this time and in which you experience catalyst. This body has the mind, body, spirit characteristics and is equal to the physical illusion as you have called it. So the yellow ray is basically equal to the present third density, or third density is the yellow ray, if you want to look at it like that. And the yellow ray is our present body, or we occupy a yellow ray body, if you will. So third density is the yellow ray. Our bodies is the yellow ray bodies, our present mind, body, spirit complex. From Kuo, February 19th, 2003. It says, Kuo says, that which is called the yellow ray or yellow ray chakra by this instrument, the culture within which you now dwell, is likely to bring to the conscious attention of each the overstimulations and desires for avoidance, which are part of the relations of the self, such as the family group of birth, the family group created by the marriage of self and other self, the group created by the working for the living, and so forth. Again, these interactions are the stuff of gossip, as well as the material for learning within the curricula of the School of Earth in third density. However, within these group systems, may we say that nothing is as it seems in terms of the value of group structures within the learning process of the self. We can only say that the value of this system of learning, which is bound up in the concept of family, clan, and any other group concepts, cannot be overestimated. It is in this direction that progressive concepts may open new ways of seeing that indeed strengthen and further open the yellow ray chakra in such a way as to improve the orientations towards the green ray energy center and that tremendous shift of energy which may come as the open heart. So in this quote, we're once again kind of given an idea of what the yellow ray deals with, but it goes on and this quote emphasizes progressive seeing in group relationships, and the goal of this seeing is to develop green ray love through the yellow ray, and such seeing can open the heart. So there are ways that the groups help us, in progressive concepts and seeing new ways of seeing things that can help open our heart. And from Living the Law of One 101, page 162, Carlos says, in terms of keeping the energy body open, the yellow ray, that slant is in the direction of acknowledging the challenges of the density of choice, third density, which is the everyday earth world which we live and share experiences, rather than painting an idealized picture of that perfect world, which almost none of us experiences day to day. So this is about keeping the yellow ray open. And we acknowledge to do this, we acknowledge the challenges of this density, or we accept the challenge and accept that this is not a perfect world we live in. And last, and this is on the same page, has page 162, and this is about the family. There is no question that family duties are down-to-earth chores which need to be done. So everyday living situations in the group, like your family, are yellow ray activities. And from the same page, she says, when people live together or work together on a daily basis over a long period of time, the family acts like a house of mirrors. Family interaction can make us feel judgmental concerning another family member. This judgment shows us our own shadow side. We only get aggravated by the things others do to us when there are also issues we have not developed and redeemed within ourselves. Family members thusly offer us catalysts that allows us to face and resolve these issues. And we will not resolve them until we can love them just as they are. So family members offer us a unique mirror for the individual entity as intense catalyst. And when we get upset by what others do, we could be projecting or not liking something we see in ourselves, but we do not want to see this or admit this. And resolving these issues or opening the yellow ray is done through acceptance and love. And I am done with this part, and on to Andrii.
Thank you, Bill, and Josh. That was a great intro. Um, and I'd like to mention how kind of this yellow ray it is, as Josh mentioned, in the solar plexus region, and as Bill was mentioning, it's also related to the third density, and it's related to the chemical body that we use to interact with other people in the density, and it's really related to family. And so I'd like to start with marriage here, which is kind of a foundation stone of family. And so here from 2005, 1015, the Confederation says the yellow ray or solar plexus chakra deals with issues of groups and the self. If you have married your mate, for instance, that energy has moved from orange to a yellow ray vibration. Family work environment, your relationship with groups such as churches and other communities all have the characteristics of yellow ray work. So, for example, if you have a relationship with someone that is a mated relationship, but it's just a one on one kind of personal relationship, then that would be on the orange ray level because it's a one to one interaction. But now, once you formalize that by, say, interacting at your church or your city or your family or your friends, and said, okay, me and my spouse, we're married now, then you that's a yellow ray because you're interacting with multiple people, and now they know about this relationship. And politics is another good example of yellow ray work. And here, 1992, 0607, the what you call political system is an example of theoretical free choice making. It is to be noted that the concept may become overburdened when too small at one end and too large at the other. Your societies tend to spin like tops because the balance point of power is small, those over whom power is held, many. In this regard, we may say that for the ethics of control to be more nearly applicable to yellow ray social decision making, the communities in which decisions are made must needs be small, small enough that each entity choosing has some small idea of who and what sort of entity each person is. And so, for the politicians who are actually doing the deciding, or the politics, for them it's yellow ray work because they know, the other politicians, and that they're having these interactions with these people. However, how our societies are structured, where you have one representative for 100,000 people, it's impossible for that representative to know 100,000 people. So they're going to know, like, some token lobbyists or whoever bothers to show up. And those are the people that have the relationships. Now, for a regular person, say you don't want to go to the office of your local politician and form a relationship with them so that you could be part of the politics, uh, but you do want to engage in yellow ray work. So where would you do that? You could do that at, for instance, a church or a different kind of social gathering. And any kind of social gathering, you will find that it's going to have what some people call politics. After you've been there for a while and you're no longer on a one-on-one relationship, but you are on a one-to-many relationship. And so that brings us to positive versus negative yellow ray, because just like how there's positive versus negative orange ray, it's similar, but instead of being one to one, it's one to many. So here from 2008, 0112. The positive polarity has no axe to grind, but exists in an energy of faith, love, gratitude, and joy. Often, wonderful teachings that are very positive in polarity are intermixed with teachings that have strongly moved into the energies of yellow ray, where there is the ability to work in groups. And instead of sinking into the group and allowing the group to express its worship and its practices on a spontaneous radiant basis, there's the negative yellow ray concern for the manipulation and disposition of its members, or of situations having to do with entities with whom it is in relationship. So basically, when you say, for instance, you're in a church and you're interacting there from a positive yellow ray, then you are being grateful and love and gratitude and joy just for the other people. And you're expressing your gratitude about the things that you like and about the people that you like. And you're probably a joy to be around if you're like that. Now, the other half, if and that's if you're polarizing service to others. If you're polarizing service to self, then such an individual would be finding issues. They would be complaining and talking about what they don't like, and then trying to manipulate the process or manipulate people, and trying to make them fit to how they want them to be. So when you are in a social group relationship and you're interacting, hey, you can think about, is this a positive interaction? Am I expressing gratitude and love, or is this person expressing positive gratitude and love and joy? Or is this a negative where it's a complaining and a kind of an attempt to control, and then if say it's a church, you can be like, remember, Jesus's teachings, love and be kind to one another. Let's go back to being grateful and joyful with each other. All right, so I'll move it on to Josh now, I believe.
Thank you very much for Andrii. Those were some great quotes there. Continuing on the topic of the yellow ray, this next quote is again from the Rock Contact in 1981. The yellow ray body is your physical vehicle which you know of at this time and in which you experience catalyst. This body has the mind-body-spirit characteristics and is equal to the physical illusion as you have called it. Bill had just mentioned this in his previous segment, just calling in the Confederation there, as you'll learn in these videos, there are multiple bodies we have corresponding to different rays or different densities or colors. And the yellow ray body is our normal physical body that you're already aware of. Okay. And 2001 quote. In the disciplines or myths of the Orient, such as Shintoism, the energy which is most involved in the system is the yellow ray or solar plexus chakra. This is the chakra of the illusion. It is the chakra of relationships like marriage and family that have to do with the groups which one associates oneself as a human being, as opposed to the individuals with which one associates oneself in a relationship. That last line referring to orange ray chakra. Pretty clear there. Another example they give of yellow ray concerning relationships to groups like a marriage. This has been said a few times here. Another interesting bit is the reference to the Eastern traditions of the Orient, referring to Shintoism. Many of those schools in the East that develop Qi and so on, refers explicitly to the solar plexus as a place to store energy in the body. Um, just a fun fact there. From 1996, quote, the third density expression of the yellow ray energy taken to the more advanced end of the scale would see entities working harmoniously with each other in the groupings of the daily round of activities, each moving into more and more harmony, compassion, and understanding of those with whom the illusion is shared, this done in a more and more conscious fashion. So there is a great example of how they describe the positive yellow ray interaction, communication, when they say of those with whom the illusion is shared. That just they're referring to normal everyday life as illusion. So they're just saying with those around you, with people you're interacting with, that you would be working and more in harmony with your coworkers, with your relatives. You'd have more compassion for the people, down the street. And your rivals in a sport you're playing against, so on, or more understanding of other people's behaviors and actions, and maybe your boss and another company, not a one-on-one, but with groups. So that's a description of the positive end of the scale, as they put it. At 1995, as your third density further draws towards its conclusion, you shall experience more and more of the yellow ray or group-to-group catalyst. That solar plexus chakra comes in for much use and abuse in working with these lessons. This is the time when one discovers what it feels like to be pulled at emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. These are the times when you find out how to cut the cord that develops between two people or two groups that limits their freedom. If you can approach dealing with groups with faith, then we feel it is not so long away until you can observe the dynamics of the various groups of entities upon your planet and see all peoples as one. So there in that quote, they're reiterating the fact that as we approach the harvest, as our yellow ray third density experience on Earth comes to an end, the intensification of catalysts and acceleration is accelerating. And in addition, with groups, like they mentioned, you see with wars, you see with political factions, you see with any type of division in people, us versus them. You hear about more and more of it today with the internet and the television, the media. It's all part of the story due to the coming harvest. But as we come closer to the end, and with a positive view on this, seeing all peoples as one is our goal as STO entities. Thank you, and at this point I'd like to pass it over to Bill.
Thank you, Josh. That's quite illuminating. I am going to stick on the subject of marriage, and remind everybody that we have all our quotes in the section below the video. So Kuo on September 21st, 2003 says, mated relationships are a triad. That means three, triad three. They are not two partners against the world, which people have actually told me that it's you and her versus the world. but Kuo says they are not two partners against the world. Rather, they are a temple that has been enlarged so that two entities' lives may be dedicated to that which is larger than themselves, larger than their worldly hopes, consisting that ark which contains those things that one couple wishes to save from the flood of the everyday. So once again, marriage is a yellow ray activity, and a union between two entities dedicated can be dedicated to the creator or that which is larger than themselves. So if the entities wish that are married, they can be married to themselves and the creator. And in this quote, they, kind of make a metaphoric ark where, you're saving those precious things out of the mundane world or non-transient things that will help or, the precious things are non-transient things, because non-transient things and the Confederation terminology is ideas and concepts that will help one spiritually evolve. So when you're married and you're dedicated to your spouse and the creator, then you save out of the world those precious concepts and ideals that will help you spiritually evolve. And when you work together with the mated with your spouse, then and you're dedicated to this concept, it's something that's very possible and can be done quite harmoniously and powerfully if you want. And then in the same session, this is out of September 21st, 2003, Kuo says, we encourage in the dailiness of a mated relationship the continual return to that place of marriage where two souls have united with the creator to create the temple of a lifetime of dedicated and committed loving. Move into the silence of that tabernacle which is within the heart. Move into that shared silence in which each may hear the creator speak. Let love be that which it is, but allow a love which you know not to undergird and support that which you know now has love. For love has infinite lessons to offer, and the more one is able to open the heart to the infinite consciousness that is love, the more one is able to open even further and even further. So that, as this instrument would say, one comes into one's bliss and more is at rest, at peace within. So this is, once again, the creator is part of the marriage. Couples can meditate together, and like it says, love has infinite lessons, and such lessons are greatly found in marriage, and marriage can open the heart more. And one last quote. So these are all very important yellow ray activities. Kuo, June 28th, 1987. In a metaphysical covenant, there is a third party which overshadows both entities. You may call that the creator. Perhaps we would do best to call it living love. Those who do not marry and seek together seek alone for the face of love. Those who seek through the covenant of marriage incorporate that which they seek into their marital seeking. This gives those who grasp and understand the metaphysical meaning of marriage a gracefulness and a tenderness that would not come naturally otherwise. So once again, this is kind of alluding that you can seek alone the face of love by yourself, kind of an orange ray experience. You can probably get to the green ray through the orange ray, but the yellow ray, the marriage enhances this. And then the metaphysical covenant for marriage overshadows the partners in the marriage, as this includes the creator or living a love. And understanding the metaphysical marriage can help open the heart to a gracefulness and a tenderness that could not naturally come. So marriage is a great opportunity to work in the yellow ray and really open your heart and get a lot of knowledge and experience of love if you're so dedicated. And now I turn my time over to Andrii.
Thanks, Bill. That was great information on marriage there. And I wanted to talk about yellow ray healing for a minute here. So 2010, November 13th, we are those of Kuo and are aware of your query, my brother. When we speak of loving from the yellow ray energy center, we are speaking of willing oneself to love. The emotions that you are given with your physical body are finite. They can be exhausted, and we do not encourage the attempt to love and to serve from the yellow ray. So, basically, it's kind of like if you don't like someone and then you're trying to love them because of social reasons, not because your heart is open and you're letting the one infinite creator go through you, so that they're not recommending to force love people. Let us give an example, my brother. Say that a healer wishes to heal another who is ill, and the healer has a good deal of personal power, a real gift for healing. The healer can do one of two things. It can work from the yellow ray, or it can work from the green ray. If it works from the yellow ray, it has not engaged the open heart. It has not ascended to the gateway of intelligent infinity to ask for help from spirit. So this is when a person is healing from themselves. They're like, I have the power to heal. I'm going to heal from myself, right? But as ourselves, we are very finite. And so here, I'll read on. There is simply the decision that the person needs healing and it's going to be done. And so the healer engages with the one to be healed and perhaps touches that patient and perhaps is even able to reduce or eliminate pain for a given period of time. But the energy of human intent without spirit's aid becomes exhausted after an hour or a day. The comfort that was desired to be given is given, but it is taken away because the energy is exhausted. So when someone tries to heal from their own personal power, because personal power is finite, it's only going to be a finite healing. It's only going to work for a little bit. So, if you want to do a healing that's going to have long-term effects, you're going to have to open the heart and then invite spirit or God to flow through you and help you and do this. Okay. And then that way, you do the healing, or rather you facilitate the healing. You're not doing the healing, you're facilitating the healing, instead of trying to do it from your personal power. Okay, now I just wanted to try to briefly touch on yellow ray faiths, because say for instance Christianity is there's many different versions of Christianity, but at least Jesus' teachings are fairly green ray. They're mostly about love and forgiveness and kindness. And now here in 2003, 02, 09, they say that the culture which you now dwell is likely to bring the conscious attention to each overstimulation, and from the family group, these interactions of stuff and gossip. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong quote there. It was just there. It was talking about how gossip is part of the yellow ray experience, and that we shouldn't denigrate it. but rather use it as a way of learning to love and be kind to one another, as another catalyst. Um, and so here I will see. The great advantage of the religions that move from the yellow ray energy is that there is no translation needed between the holy and the everyday. Each entity within a family, a clan, a village, or a nation is specifically and frequently honored as part of the valuable whole. Thus, the family is seen as sacred. Age itself is seen as sacred and a holy thing. Events within life take on the glow of the revealed Creator in bodily form. While it is not a system of seeking that specifically opens the heart, what it does in terms of the human experience is render it into the kind of liquid in which the elements of everyday life are specifically to be seen as holy. And so these kinds of faith that they're talking about are often like Chinese traditional religions or ancestor worship based religions. And thus, the life experience of everybody can be taken by one who has worked with this discipline as having a resources of rightness that is profound, and there is a peace that this produces that is similar to that a feeling of groups of entities at one of your games, where instead of the two sides, there's only one side, and all portions of the game are winning. In this kind of experience, there's a solidifying and strengthening of the bonds of simple humanity, in the valuing of family, in the valuing of wisdom of age, and in valuing the death process as part of life. It's tremendous piece. All right, and now I'll move it on to Bill, and I think we're having discussions. I mean, Josh. Yeah. Is that right,
Yeah,
Bill?
No,
yeah,
you
we're
bring it up, Bill. Go ahead with
yeah
the
we're in the discussion period. Thank you guys for those quotes. We've touched on family, marriage, a little bit of church, uh, sports. Andre did healing. Is there anything on either of you guys' minds that you would want to discuss? I've written a few things down, um, but do you have anything particular you want to explore further, Josh?
No, let's go ahead. Let's hear what you have, please.
Okay, what before I go, what about you, Andre?
Oh, no,
Anything that
nothing
comes up?
in particular. I was just like my finishing thoughts on that yellow ray stuff. Um, Basically, like there's different religions that focus on different things, and some religions focus on yellow ray, and that can be a good thing in itself. But ultimately, in order to go to the fourth density, graduate fourth density, we're gonna have to open our heart, and so that's fourth rate work.
All right. Well, one thing that caught my mind, and I've seen this, is the idea of an oversoul for a group. So I guess when we move into fourth density and create a social memory complex, there's an oversoul for the group. So as we move through the process, I guess this is a little off topic of yellow ray, even though it's brought up in these yellow ray discussions. The oversoul, I guess, is just created by the whole group or something, or did you got any
I
ideas on this on?
I know quite well about this. We covered it in the social memory complex thing. Basically, when two or more people get together and worship God together, the oversoul forms, and it is God
Oh,
basically. Like in the marriage we discussed earlier, the oversoul. Um, so God joins them together, and God is the third partner in the relationship. It is the oversoul that forms, and so right now
so
we're
so the
three here, and so we have an oversoul, like because we're I'm presuming all worshiping God together here. And so we have our
Okay,
oversoul
so
God uniting us.
the yellow ray presents the opportunity to bring in the silver soul.
Yes. Yeah. Well, with more than one other person. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the yellow ray as being important for the oversoul coming about because you need a group of people, like you said. But I this is just my thoughts, not from direct. But I feel because the quote I read earlier, I don't think an oversoul requires the group to be actively worshiping God, but rather just being a group that are incarnate mind body spirit complexes can innately have an oversoul because that and my guess just going on here, the oversoul could be a positive or negative oversoul. If you have a clan, a marauding conquering clan that is like-minded in their raping and pillaging and conquering, they have an oversoul. It's kind of like, again, just popping into my head, like in their space-time version, their spirits their mind spirits coming together as a group, creating that joined soul group. But if they're just raping and pillaging and killing, they're not necessarily what I think of as worshiping God. I perhaps one can see it as, well, they see themselves as God, so they're doing this to benefit themselves. So by that way, sure, that way I can understand. But I think for the viewer watching this, typically I would imagine worshiping God looks like praying on your knees at church or something like this. I don't think that actual like group church worship is required for like a basketball team to have an oversoul, so to speak. What are your thoughts?
And the oversoul is kind of like an energy that's created.
I see it as like a melding of the group, the souls of the spirit, some aspect of each individual spirit that reaches out and shakes hands with all the others. They all put their hand in and like, go team, right? All the members put their hands in. Like that's like the how I picture perhaps like an oversoul of a sports team. They come together with a like-minded purpose
Mhm.
in time
Yeah.
space in the spirit world or however.
I think perhaps it could be generalized to say on the service to others path as recognizing the divine within the other person, like the namaste. I recognize the divine within you. um, would be the same as worshiping God, because you're worshiping the God in the other person. You're acknowledging the divine is in this moment. And like what you were saying, like there's the service to self version, because I mean obviously service to self planets also have their own social memory complexes, and so they see themselves as divine and others as not, as worthy of, like for instance the Wagner group. I don't know how cohesive they are, because like there's so many thousands of them, but some of those brigades or whatever may have their own. I know I've read that a lot of times, like people who fight together in like a war scenario often have very strong ties, even stronger than family ties, often with times, because they've gone through all of this traumatic catalyst together and been there for each other. And so that's kind of they have an oversoul there of having been there together and experienced all of that together, and so they have a lot of shared experiences. And so they're kind of, their oversoul contains those shared experiences.
So it's an energetic connection kind of in the yellow ray that perhaps offers a springboard into the green ray, something like that.
A similar, yes, I would agree with that. And on this topic, another idea popped into my head. How last week we did Orange Ray, which is more of a one-on-one, and we were talking about Oversoul and this group, this shared experience of a group of entities, being Yellow Ray topic. So you could think of like when you're text messaging your friend with a one-on-one text, that's more Orange Ray, one-on-one communication. But then when you have a group chat with all your group of friends with some topic, that's more Yellow Ray because there's a group. And the Oversoul, perhaps you could say, is like all the, the shared space, all the pictures and messages and links in this group chat. It's one conglomerate of, thoughts and shared resources of the group. Just as a metaphor for you out there watching.
And one thing we started to touch on a little bit was the Yellow Ray and the negative side. And we can cover this as a whole topic, but we got to remember the negative side does not open the heart. It does not use the green ray. So a lot of their work is done in the orange and yellow ray. Do we want to, has anybody got any comments on how, Josh, you started to allude to a few things, how the negative uses the yellow ray.
So yeah, I wanted to continue on that example. Like, say you have that war band, and then they have that the shared experiences in the yellow ray, but they would only get to the green ray if they recognize the one infinite creator in everybody, right? Because when you have green ray, then you realize everything is the creator, and then they would no longer be able to be a war band. They could be like a peace band, spreading peace and love and gratitude. It's like, we've changed our ways. We used to be a war band, but now we're a peace band. We're helping promote peace and love because everyone is good. Everyone has the divine within them. So, like those would be like two different variations there.
That would be funny to see. One thing, Bill, that comes to mind for negative yellow ray groups of entities in the Confederation material, in the rock contact that we're studying and talking about, they often refer to the Orion group, which is a negative social memory complex. Sometimes they're referred to as the Crusaders, who are going about the galaxy or solar, to conquer others, to recruit for their own ranks. So it's a group dealing with others. And, as we had mentioned in other episodes, a social memory complex has a yellow ray aspect where it's a group. And there's multiple social memory complexes. So there's, the Orion entities, there's other, there's the Confederation of entities, there's many, many others. Well, I'm sorry, Confederation.
I know that Ross said that the Orion group was one of the stronger negative groups, and they're kind of the ones that took over.
Yeah.
So there's many of them.
Yes. So that's an example of one group dominating the other. The clashing, the negative energy is a disharmonious yellow ray, but for STO, that's their goal, and they're activating the yellow ray in the negative sense.
Well, that's a whole other topic. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. Can we have kind of a final definition on what we think the yellow ray is? Andrii, let's start with you.
So the yellow ray is a multi-nested idea of both the what primarily has to do with the yellow ray chakra, but it could also be considered the chemical body and the third density. And it has to do with relationships with multiple people, particularly a family or other group of people who you are close to. Okay.
Yeah,
Josh?
yeah, I would agree with that. What about you, Josh? Would you?
Yeah. I would agree with that. You pretty much covered it all. Trying to think if there's anything else I would add to it. And
Well, there's one thing I would add, and it goes along with all the lower chakras, is if we're on the positive path and we want to clear these chakras, we're always loving and accepting. It's love and acceptance that will, with the yellow rays, you're loving and accepting of the group, no matter how they're going, where they're going. You just gotta kind of deal with it, absorb it. You're gonna love and accept it. If you have a problem with it, deal with it, but then try to let it go so you can keep that yellow ray open. So that's a very important concept, and we're dealing with all these chakras, especially the lower three, is keeping them clear and open. So we're always doing work.
yeah, and in the yellow ray context, thing that comes to mind is being the peacekeeper. Being the rock in the storm of fighting in a family, right? Of being the mediator is that loving and accepting everyone in the group and trying to create the harmony.
Well, I think that might be going up into the green rays. Like one of the things I want to mention is that in the yellow ray, like a person working from the yellow ray is working on their personal power, whereas so that's one of the main differences between yellow ray and yellow ray positive and green ray positive is that yellow ray positive is loving and accepting, but as a person, with their own personal power and trying to help with their personal power. Whereas the green ray, they are allowing they are simply a facilitator or a channel for the love of the divine and the spirit working through them. And then in the yellow ray, they're just loving their family and their group, whereas with the green ray, they're loving all beings, not just their family, but everyone in creation.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. I was getting a little mixed up with the individual versus the group there. So, okay, we're loving everybody in the group. All right.
Right, exactly.
All right, is there anything else anybody wants to add? Okay, thank you guys, and I'll go straight to the outro. We end this session and are grateful to the audience for viewing this video. In this teaching experiment, we have attempted to learn a topic as a social memory complex that is unified, harmonious, and full of unconditional love, which characteristics are extremely important to us because we resonate with the Confederation philosophy and believe we are, as humanity, forming and becoming a loving, unified, and harmonious social memory complex from planet Earth. We thank the Confederation and those at LL Research. If you'd like to support LL Research, you can go to their website at llresearch.org to donate and or buy their books and other material. However, all LL Research material is free at their website. And we hope this teaching experiment will give one knowledge that will help one see the love in the moment, will help one open their heart more and more clearly see the unity of all. We thank you, and please know that we love each other and you. At this time, we leave you as we found you in the love and light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite Creator. Adonai Vasu Baragas. Thank you.